And this is chain of thought prompting. Now, I'll be the first to admit this um, chain of thought prompting can go two completely separate ways. One, exactly what you see here. Explain step by step how you would do X, Y, and Z. So these
Hmm.
are prompts that are designed to guide Copilot through a logical process or a series of steps.
Yeah.
The other avenue that you could take this is what we were just doing through conversation. So going back to like the example of A is for Americano, B is for Breve, and then kind of moving through there. Every time you follow up with the conversation, that's kind of a chain of thought, a conversational approach to it, and then getting an outcome. So this can definitely go in both directions. The other thing to point out is I posted this as a carousel on LinkedIn over a week ago. Got a good number of impressions off of it, and some engagement and some feedback. And one of the feedback pieces that we got was actually from a principal product manager at Microsoft for Copilot, and he said that all the techniques that were listed were really, really good, but he specifically called out chain of thought prompting and mention that this one isn't necessary in Copilot because it's built into the system. So you might ask Copilot to give me a set of instructions to do X. You don't have to explicitly say, explain step by step how to do
Hmm.
X. That's already implied as part of that. But I find that it's sometimes helpful to ask Copilot to think about it step by step, to
Hmm.
explain it step by step, because that kind of increases the quality of the response that it gives. So in this
Yeah.
one, we're looking for a step-by-step process to solve a complex task. Do you want to drive the demo on this one, or should I?
I've got an example. So like I'm trying to do these examples on the side so we can
Mhm.
move quickly. So I've got an example. This is not a coffee shop thing. I apologize. It's from like my own world of knowledge. So okay, this is the idea of like new people in IT or new people in the technology field. There's the idea of like giving a man a fish or teaching a man to fish, right? So, like for me, giving the engineer a fish, the new engineer, is write up a PowerShell script that goes through a list of users in a CSV file, give them a new policy that disables recording. I just need the code, right? So I ask for that, boom, it gives me that. Here's your script. The example of like chain of thought would be I'm a new engineer and I could just get this, but I'm not going to learn anything from it necessarily, but I want to be a better engineer. So instead I say explain step by step how you would write a PowerShell script to blah blah blah. I just literally pasted that in, but instead I said explain step by step. Now, this gives me a little bit more as a technologist who's brand new, straight out of school, to say, how would you get this task done? Not how would you paste in the code and just run it. It would be, well, you need to get your CSV file right. You need to connect to Teams first because every PowerShell script that uses Microsoft Teams needs to start with connecting to the platform, right? You would need to import CSV. This is something that you're going to do all the time in PowerShell. Let me, explain it as a separate step because it's going to be a step in every script you're ever going to write in your career, right? So it's breaking down what the code is doing. And then, yeah, it still gives me the script, but I've learned something from it. I've gotten better. And that's one of the three things that Copilot says that, they're kind of marketing hype for Microsoft Copilot is, unleashing creativity, unlocking productivity, and upskilling, right? This is the upskilling side of using Copilot is like I could just totally unlock productivity and just get the thing done and just fire out the next one. Or I could take my time and I could ask Copilot to explain step by step. And then I've upskilled. I've gotten better at my career. And that's kind of along. I'm getting really philosophical about this because like it matters to me. Like that's the don't just think about this as like replacing you and like, can I just like get this crap done so that I can just do nothing? Like, think about this as like a force multiplier to learn something new as well. So that's my soapbox. Do you have a more poignant example for a coffee shop, Andy?
We're gonna go to the coffee shop,
Cool,
and
dude.
so with my example for the coffee shop, I'm gonna do this in Word, and what I wanted to do is what's a recipe for an iced mocha latte, and then explain step by step how to make the latte. So we're telling it, the recipe that we want, that's the context, but then we want step-by-step instructions on how to create it. So if you're a mom and pop organization, you're just getting off the ground, you're a small business, and you're putting together a recipe book, you don't
Mhm,
necessarily have to start from scratch. You might have these recipes out there, but you can see how quickly it could build out an entire recipe book, including directions, nutrition information, preparation time, and then any notes. I didn't ask it for all of that additional information. It went ahead and just assumed that I would want it based off of the information that it was trained off of. So that would be an example of chain of thought for, in this case, building an iced mocha latte.
mhm.
Now, let's do another example of that. And for this one, I'm going to head to Copilot, and I'll do this in Copilot in the web to show you, or Copilot protected data. I'll show you what it looks like there, just because we're kind of bouncing back and forth between the different experiences, and we kind of want you to see that. So like I've done, or I've got the prompt already there. Let's just enter it in and compare it so we can see like what it looks like compared to like what we got in the Word document just a moment ago. One of the main things to point out is that Word document lives in my OneDrive. That was part of the enterprise version of Copilot for Microsoft 365. Now,
Mhm.
here, getting some similar results, instructions: prepare the coffee, the chocolate syrup. If you have store bought syrup, now we make our own Jolly Roger Java.
We're gonna need a prompt for that recipe.
Now notice it didn't give me anything like the notes. It didn't give me any nutrition information, any like special instructions. It just gave me this, but it is telling me, here's some places where I got some of this information. Now I'm
Mhm,
going to do another version of this. I'm going to go into the work tab for this. So this is Copilot for Microsoft 365. It's grounded in graph data, so it'll
yeah,
look in the organization for information. It'll also look um, for the training data. And if I want to, I could open this up for web content as well. Now, for this one, I'm going to show the chain of thought that I mentioned in the overview, kind of the other version of this. I'm going to say, what are 5 popular um, sorry, espresso drinks for a coffee shop? So that's the first thought. What are 5
mhm,
popular espresso drinks? Give me a list. Now, because I'm connected to Copilot for M365, it might look to see if I have anything internal, any documents that I've drafted previously that I've had in like a document in OneDrive, SharePoint, or Teams. It'll look across the organization for things that I might have access to, and then it'll do the web search and it's going to pull back the results. Now, notice here it's got from the web up top, and then down below it says from your company. It seems that you recently worked on a document entitled Prompt Techniques and Examples, which might include content related to coffee shops or customer service. So, internally, from my organization, it does call out that I do have some information around that. All
mhm,
right. So chain of thought. The next thing that I want to do is I'm going to say, well, I've got these 5 drinks. Create a recipe uh, guide for these 5 drinks. And so I'm moving through a conversation with it. I'm starting small, and then I'm kind of building toward like the thing that I want on the for my output. So this is a helpful technique as you kind of step through something step by step. So you can
mhm.
ask it for things step by step, but through the conversation of responses, you can go step by step through a process and get the desired output that you want. So now we've created a recipe guide. So we've got, kind of the recipe guide. Now let's say, like, create an ingredient list for these 5 bevs, and I'll just abbreviate beverages as bevs, and it should be able to identify what we're doing here.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've got the basic ingredient list. We've got the basic recipe guide. Then we could go back and say, create a table for the drinks, include the ingredients and the recipe along with any notes. And because I've stepped through that step by step throughout, it should have all of the information that I need. And now I can start putting it together in the format that I want on the other end. So to me, that's conversational chain of thought prompting. And that's one of the techniques that I get the best results out of, because I
Yeah.
start with kind of what I'm looking for. I kind of ground it. I iterate kind of through that, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And then at the end, I tell it, okay, put this together in the format that I want. And then I'm usually able to get something like this.
Yeah, we're gonna start kind of blurring the lines a little bit here in this middle section of like, between like this and iterative and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think the point to call out for Andy's demo here is that he's walking on a path with the AI. They've developed this thing, and then now he's bringing it together, right? So he's gotten what he wants because he has taken the time to go through it with the model. Um, and that's it takes more time, to do something like that, but like you get a better deliverable in the end than hoping you got something right and then just kind of like trying the same thing over and over again until you get what you want. He's kind of guided it to what he wants. And that's really, in my mind, that's kind of one of the essences of like chain of thought prompting, is that like we're going back and forth almost like we were having a brainstorming session across a table, right?
Yep. And that's where, like, the virtual assistant part of it really comes
Hmm.
into play. It's an amazing research assistant. It does a really good job at identifying the context and the objective of what you're looking for. It does really good
Hmm.
opposition research, so it can help you to, like, kind of plug in holes, and going back and forth in a conversation with it, you can really guide it to give you kind of the output that you want. It does take a little bit more time, but I would argue that you save significantly more time doing it this way versus if you were to try to, like, do all this research and putting in and comparing things yourself. You're letting it
Hmm.
really shine with what it's good at, and you're guiding it to the outcome that you want. Then you're 80% of the way there with the document that you need to create, and then, to be able to build something from there.
Yeah. Andy's blowing my mind right now. He's so further advanced than I am with these types of techniques, where it's like I just kind of keep throwing like the same thing at a wall.